Welcome back to Word Blindness, Dyslexia Exposed. This is Juliette Hahn here with my co-host Brent Sopel. How are you?
I'm not going to answer that.
Yeah. So I will preface, that's a word, that...
big words.
Yeah.
To start this
Yeah,
off.
I'm going to do. I'm going to lay it all out in the beginning. So I am a little tired because I didn't get in until 1 a.m. and I was at a conference, not sleeping.
You just partied all weekend. That's it. Just tell the truth.
Apparently that's what my family even thinks. I'm like, okay, no, just because I have fun with the people I work with doesn't mean I party. No, I worked my ass off, but having fun at the same time. But that's what everyone's goal should be. Seriously, that's what the goal should be.
No, it's supposed to be, what do they say? It's not work if you enjoy it.
Exactly. And even if you think about your events, the same thing. It looks like fun. And everyone like, are you really working? I'm like, yeah, I'm really actually working. Right. But it's the same thing. So, but yes, it is full on. Cause then Danny came and surprised us at the end. And then it was like everyone's like all the families. I got to meet all the kids of some of the people that work with us. So it was awesome, but I didn't get in until 1:15 because delays and that we didn't, the Panthers won. It was not supposed to happen.
That's what happens. You live in a beach house in the middle of nowhere.
I know. That was, yeah. There was fights on the plane. There was literally, as we were getting, people were so angry. Literally, it was JetBlue. The flight got changed, then the gate got changed, then the flight got changed again, then the gate got changed back to like the original thing. So but then it was like 20 minutes delayed. So everyone was kind of like clearly not in a good mood. And these two ladies, it was like I was like ready to go. And they're like, one of them had A, one of them had C, but I don't think either of them had A, and they were fighting. And everyone was just trying to get on the airplane and they were fighting. And I actually said, and then I was like, they're going to turn around.
What's your definition of fighting?
Oh, they were, okay. Yes.
Let's clarify that.
There was arguing.
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 You're ugly. You're fat.
Yeah. They basically.
Your husband doesn't want to sleep with you. Those things?
No.
Nice hair.
Yeah.
It's curly.
The gate people just kept going, ladies, you're not up yet. Please go back to your seats. Ladies, you're not. The calmest. I was like, but they were like, nah, she is. Look at her thing. And they were yelling, this is not right, and holding everyone up. And I was like, I'm going to take.
I wish I was there.
No, you would have. I took a deep breath.
I would have got in there
and said, we're all just getting to the same space. We're all just going to the same space. Can we just let everyone else board? And they didn't hear me. It probably was a good thing because they probably would have turned around and hit me. And then when we got on the flight.
Oh, then we get sued. Then the airport gets involved. Now we're good.
Yeah, right. It was tense. So let's just say. And then JFK had too many people coming in. So then we had to circle. And I just.
New York.
Oh,
huh?
New York. Yeah, and then we land, and everyone again was all pissy.
Yeah. You love that place. Well, you're from the Jersey too. Jesus, what do they call it? Is it white trash people? Is that what they call it?
Excuse me, they do not.
Jersey Shores.
So Jersey Dirt.
Oh, okay.
That's what we've heard.
My bad.
Jersey Dirt. And there's only certain areas. I'm not from Jersey Dirt. And I love where I'm from, outside of Philly, which is another of your favorite places.
Oh.
But that is not why we are on the podcast today. I was prefacing to say that I might be a little off, but we have something really serious to talk about that kind of clicked for me, even though I shouldn't say click because I've always been aware, but it hit me or sat with me in a different way this weekend than it has. And it is the medical world, the education world. It's kind of just the world, but seeing it now that I know so much about this world, I think is what really clicked. Like I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. And I know you're being paid. So like, let's all like pause for a second. And then on top of the science of reading, as that episode will come out, and as we've said, there's multiple things that people need to learn. And when you're pushing one agenda, if someone's pushing one agenda and they keep pushing it, like look under the covers because they're usually getting paid, or under the hood. What is the term? Look somewhere. Look deeper.
I don't know Jersey Dirt, but you said no. Now after listening because, obviously I catch things that 99% of people don't.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Obviously, in the dyslexic world, I catch things that most people don't because they're non-dyslexics.
Mm-hmm.
That are pushing certain things. Obviously science of reading is the biggest one, and that's why I'm able to catch it. And it's what's that group? Parents for Reading Justice.
Oh yeah.
It's like phonies like that, right? You don't have dyslexia. Your husband's rich. You've got 500 followers on Instagram, but you're going to go to Congress and change laws. Fuck you. But it's interesting. What caught my attention when you said you're starting to understand when you're at those conferences, doctors, picking whatever product that they're talking about. Now you can hear certain buzzwords and they're getting paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's interesting because in the education world, I definitely clicked in I've always known that, okay, that they have some tutoring thing, or in coaching world, when someone's pushing different things, okay, there's a business behind it. Yeah. And so it was just an interesting kind of, oh, wait, they keep saying that. And I know they're pushing that. And I know that if you really look into their science, that product doesn't really work. Because now I know different things, and yeah, go ahead.
No, and that was it. It was, if you're not in, again, regenerative medicine, obviously the world you're in, and dyslexia, it inside and out, so you catch the buzzwords, you catch how they deliver certain things. Obviously for the longest time when we started the podcast and stuff, you're like, what do you mean? How can you say that? How would you know? Obviously, I'd end up being right just because I know this world inside and out. And the parents that are coming to this, your kids struggling, whatever, they don't know it. So it's hard for them to look under the hood because they, it's like they open the hood of a car, they don't know what they're looking at. It sounds good. Let's obviously the big one that we get all the time in this world, Dyslexic University. Oh, Richard Branson's doing so many great things because he's doing, Dyslexic University for dyslexia. Okay, let's stop. And how many times I have to, break it down for him. He's doing shit for dyslexia. You've got that much money, but are you helping kids?
The kid in the chair.
Kid in the chair? Obviously, that's our number one focus whenever we talk about the kid in the chair. Is he helping any kid in the chair? Nope. Can he save every kid in the chair with the amount of money he has? Yep. Does he care to? No. I think he's using Dyslexia University as a hiring for his companies. That's just me. Because now he's able to pluck dyslexics out because it's for university, older. But with that much money, are you helping the kid in the chair? No. Parents for Reading Justice, are you helping the kid in the chair? No, you don't have it.
Yep.
We're all different. And, I don't know, obviously, regenerative medicine, but it was interesting when you said you were able to catch the words, those buzzwords, the things that they were saying at the conference for the first time in a different way. And now you're starting to resonate and catching those things in different ways and different lights than before. And that's what the world we live in when it comes to this.
Yep. And it is, and this is why we do what we do. And everything you just said, I was like, I don't know if you noticed, I was like, oh, I'm so excited to say something. It is about the knowledge. And that's why we tell and talk about different things in different lights, because when you have the knowledge and you're able to ask a question in a certain way, the person that is receiving it, that is having an agenda, that it's about money, it's not about the cause, they're
Right.
going to know that you know. Some of them are not, because some of them are not that quick, but they're going to know. And it's just, that's why people don't want the massive to know certain things. In the medical world, it is huge. And in education, it's huge. And I'm sure it's actually like that in a lot of different worlds. But those are the two worlds that we're in, right? But when you have,
I'm sure, Elizabeth, in the mortgage world, I'm sure that's probably the same thing, right? Probably, I'm sure in every industry there is that, in Dan's world, I'm sure, but this is our two worlds that we know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why so many people hate me when it comes to the dyslexic world, because I call their fucking shit out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you like me. I care to take you down in the most ugliest fashion. Mentally, physically, emotionally, because that's what you're doing to the kid in the chair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Most people don't. There's always, what do you say? You always get a method to your madness. But,
Mm-hmm.
play offense. I know what you're doing. And that's, the education world. We've talked about this all the time. There's a few things: relatability, knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
And we do this. The hard part is when you're trying to look under the hood, like you said, when you're running in fear. Oh, my kid, I just found out my kid's struggling, right? Like, it's the worst feeling in the world. So you go and look for help. They say it can help me.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's catching them before they're in fear, so that they can look a little bit deeper in the hood and get some understanding and realization of what is being said in different places. Now, dyslexia, it's the brain. Pretty sure there's not one brain out there. Mm-hmm. So there's not one reading program that's gonna work. So all the science reading, it's a cult. Fuck them all. That's not how this works. Oh, it's gonna help more kids. Okay, great. More is better than less. 100%. Was that alligator mouth? Isn't that to the greater and the less than?
Oh, I love that game. Right. Oh, that's not the game I know what you're talking about. Yes, in math.
Yeah. In math. But, the hippo?
Yeah, the hungry hippo. That's what I was
Elizabeth
thinking.
Elizabeth talking about the hungry hippo the other day.
Yeah.
She found a Facebook marketplace. Her mom, like an old McDonald's drive-thru she wanted to be as a kid. Right. But it was so, then say that. Hey, right now, science reading can help more kids than what we have out there. Okay, great. Say that.
Right. Don't just push it and
don't just push it. Don't go and change laws where that can't help everybody.
Right.
Science reading, this is how you teach. This is how they learn. You don't understand. You're not dyslexic, so you don't understand. You'll never understand us, but you want to teach us. How the fuck does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm. And as I've said to you so many times, right? Like, I think it starts in a good place and then it ends up going in where it's like, it's all about the money. And the thing that I think is so important to think about is I really think these people actually, they make themselves believe that this actually is, because when you're starting to push an agenda, like, think about how powerful the mind is, right? How powerful the mind is. When the mind is that powerful, you then start saying it. Then you almost are so you're like, I know it, right? Because I can sell really well. Think about people's personalities, the ones you can sell something. If you can sell something, it doesn't mean that it's the right product. Think about the person.
Ask my ex-wife, huh?
Right.
She can sell how psycho she is, right? To anybody. But, I 100%, but they don't have it. At the end of the day, right. They do not have it. What's that video? They're talking about, education. 100 years ago, there's horse and carriage, right? Now we got fucking driverless cars. Look at the cell phone. Right, the cell phone, whatever that thing was, and to the rotary phone, to now we got cell phone. Right now, like,
look at education.
So that everything's involved, education's gotten worse because the people who don't have it are running it.
And it's,
did I send that to you about Illinois? There's 30 schools. Yeah. Not a single student can read at grade level in 30 Illinois schools. And 22 of them are in the city of Chicago.
I mean, how is that like okay?
And that's where I'm going with the teachers union, right?
Yeah.
Right. Chicago, they just passed, it was like a $10 billion, teachers union, right? It's not about the kids. None of it. Like 30 schools, 30 schools. Not one kid can read at grade level.
And they're blaming it all on COVID, aren't they?
But, and that's because it's the people who don't have what we have that are running it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, I talk about, obviously, Elizabeth got together when we started this. You and I obviously connected because we have it, right? So we'd say things the same way.
Yep.
Elizabeth, you just look at me, I have no idea what you're talking about. And that's okay, right? And she understands now, better now, but that's a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
Like now she was at Costco. They've already got the Halloween mats out. So we're already talking about school starting here in a month and a half. Maybe less than that. School starting here.
And ours,
and you guys haven't got out yet.
Finished. Penelope just had another final today.
But so it's probably our first 4 dates were all in Mexican. She wanted to torture me through Mexican, see if I loved her enough to go over for Mexican every night. But it was trying to understand who I was, right? That's what dating, right? There's no time for that as a teacher.
No.
And we're labeled instantly as the bad kid, not paying attention. So how long does it take to understand? You don't understand, go back to the dating world, right? What's it take a year to understand somebody or, what they're about? A teacher has got what? So the fact that the teachers have no understanding about dyslexia, dysgraphia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, and ADHD, the 5 Ds that we talk about, right? So again, as much as I rip on teachers, I'll defend them. How are they supposed to learn about a kid when they got 100 other kids? They can't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I want to take it because I want to see what your thoughts are, and I'm going to bring it back to the medical world. And then we're going to tie it into how it kind of translates and why, for me, I was like, oh my God, it's just so interesting. And because I now been in this world, as we've talked about, and I know the buzzwords, I know the different things, I know what technologies really work. I know how the human body needs certain everyone has, different things they need. So when you're pushing one product, it's the same thing, right? Same thing with reading programs. But the thing that I say, and I said it to someone and they were like, yeah, really? Why doesn't it work that way? And I'm like, I have no idea. So these doctors are getting paid by companies, right? It's the same in the advertising world, right? You see people you're getting paid for something, so you're pushing it.
And celebrities are pushing, whatever product out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it is.
That's how it is. It's all about money. So if you were a doctor and you really cared about your patients, okay, right? So the kid in the chair, the patients, this was why all of a sudden I was like, oh my God. If you know that there's technologies that are better or things that are actually better for your patients, why wouldn't you use that so then you can make a better clientele, right? You have people that are coming to you that trust you, that love you because they're like, okay, they know what they're doing. They've done their research. It's not about them getting paid for a product. Instead of getting money from a company that is not doing what it says it's doing, it's not good, but you're getting paid there, and then you're just pushing through patients without really that true connection. you can make a better, and there was a couple of doctors that were there that I know actually do it the way I was talking about, because everyone was talking about, like, we would love to have a practice like X, Y, and Z. You can never get one of their employees, never get a patient, because they treat their patients and employees the way they treat themselves. They give them the best products because they do the research, they do the continuing education, and they also work and do it on themselves. They're in that age group of their patients, right? So they could live the learned stuff, just like we talk about with like psychologists, like, or you going into therapy and you're not, like, these doctors have done what the patients are going through. So it's almost like this connection. So why wouldn't you want to build a practice of integrity and knowledge, but like what you, instead of just being like,
most of the world they don't have that.
I know. And it makes me crazy.
They don't have
though.
that. Like, let's go the education, go the education, IDA. They've been around for 75 years.
Yeah.
They haven't done fucking anything.
No,
this project for justice for reading, right? Just because your husband's rich, now you're 65 and your kids are in their 30s, you're going to do that. It's an ego, right? It's most of the world is the way it is because they don't have that.
Right.
When you find somebody that has that, you keep it. It's hard to find. It's
really hard to find.
How many people said, well, we're going to help the foundation. I'm going to do this, right? Where the fuck's Rom? Where'd he disappear to? Is he chained up in his basement by his wife?
Could be.
Because people don't care. And you talk about the doctor's addiction, like opiates, right? They hand out, you go for surgery, they'll give you 7,000 oxys. Even when you say don't give it to me, right? I've been addicted. They still do the opposite. They don't care.
Food industry, all of it, right? It's a food industry. Right. Pump all this stuff that's shit for us, but that is what is when people say there's so much wrong with America. Though these are the things that are wrong with fucking America. Right. This is what's wrong, is everyone's fucking ass backwards.
We could go all day long on that, and that's why we talk the way we talk about the dyslexic world, right? It's one of the most corrupt businesses in the world. It's even more corrupt than Ukraine. Mm-hmm. And Ukraine's the most corrupt country in the world. And we're second. But that's where dyslexia is, right? You've got the Shaywitzes at Yale. That's where the gospel, right, for dyslexia. They don't have it. IDA, who runs it? They're they don't have it. None of those people, that the reading league, they don't have it. That those individual, that guy reached out for here in Illinois that wanted to partner up with the foundation, right? I'm like, yeah, so who on the board, is dyslexic guy? He's like, actually, I'm the only one. I just got on the board. Okay, none of you guys have it.
Yep.
Like, yes, we don't have 62 degrees. Great. But we had 62 years or, whatever that is, 48 years professional.
Yep.
I know more than you do.
Yep. And there is a good, we're not saying like not having mixing of things like what you were just talking about, right? Like on a board or on these things. Yeah, you need all different brains, but when it's run by only one certain, like, oh, we're all scientists doing these research projects. It's okay. There's no relatability, as you always say. There's no, it's sad. And there's so much that needs to be changed, but this is why we do what we do on the podcast, because we want people to think and know. And when they go into an IEP meeting, 504, they go into school, they talk to a friend, they have more understanding of their own rights, whether they're dyslexic or not, whether they have a kid that's dyslexic, but you have an understanding. And so you can ask the questions to the school, because the school is not going to tell you what's best for your kid. They're going to tell you what is on their agenda and what they have to do. But you can push it. You can be like, nope, sorry, that's not true. I can do that. And it only comes with kind of diving in blind, and it's scary as fuck. And there's a lot of people that won't do it.
Well, you take a look at, there's whatever 40 states now, whatever. Oh, they test from kindergarten to grade 3 dyslexia. Yippee fucking do. Everybody's like, why? Isn't that great? No, it's not. yo, you're wasting your money. One, who's teaching it? Who's diagnosing it? The school, which is wrong. Two, wrong. Three is, even if you find out the kid's dyslexic, the teachers have no clue how to teach you. So what fucking good is it? So you're wasting money, right? So they're getting paid. They're passing this bill. That's a buzzword. Oh, testing for dyslexia. Great.
So people think that there's being
in
things
New York,
done, right? So that's
correct.
what
in
people
New York,
yeah.
That's was it the governor or who was that in New York trying to pass that?
Assembly member or something, yeah, like a dysgraphic dyslexic, yeah.
Guaranteed, that's just money in people's pockets.
And I think
how do you pick dyslexia and dysgraphia?
Yeah, I think he's been trying to do
when nobody understands what those are, right? It looks good,
right?
It's full of shit. And I'm not, it always seems, as we talk about, I'm always a Debbie Downer. No, I'm the realist. I understand this world, right? You can test every kid in the world. That's obviously our ultimate goal. But step 2 is teaching them. But the teacher have no understanding about them. So how can you teach something? It's like you going to the conference this weekend, for the first time, and you stand in front of everybody trying to teach everybody.
Right.
That's not how reality works.
Right. And again, if someone's a good salesperson or a good personality,
there's so many.
They come across like they are really knowledgeable. I mean, I again just went through it because I was like, that doctor, I believe everything they say, but I actually know that everything they're saying right now is not correct. But they're so dynamic, and so they really believe what they're saying, and so then they have a whole bunch of people listening, being like, "Oh, right, oh, I want to try that now because they did it," and I'm sitting there going, wait a second, I'm not even from this world. And I know that product's been being used in hospitals and wounds 30 years ago, and it wasn't good then. So why are we talking about it in the aesthetic world? Because someone had a buzzword or someone's getting paid by, and so it's so interesting. So that's where you have to, even if someone sounds like they really know what they're talking about in any realm, mortgage, right? Real estate, education, medical, you have to ask some questions if you are like, I don't understand it. And there's not a lot of people are not going to, because if someone sounds like, so, like they really know what they're talking about.
Hiring an advocate, hiring an advocate, right?
Yeah.
What neuropsych test did you spend your money in testing? So there's a lot to it. Ask questions. Obviously don't believe, but at the end of the day, when it comes to this world, 99.9% of the people are not dyslexic. So they're telling you and your kids what to do and how to feel when they have no understanding. Like it's like me telling a black man how to feel. I don't know.
Right.
Like that's exactly 100% what it is. Is I'm going down the south side of Chicago, and I can tell every one of those black people how they feel. Right.
And that's so much of it when people are pushing things, right? And it's like, you don't, how are you no, you don't know. You have no knowledge of it. And it is, it's not going to get better until people start really standing up. And, there's always going to be a shit show, but people standing up and just having that knowledge when you're going into these meetings, when you're, again, if the school is like, oh, we're going to test your son in kindergarten or your daughter in kindergarten, and you have a family history of dyslexia, and that there could be, and maybe that kid has memorized and figured it out already, and it's going to be lost, right? And then they're going to be able to catch it for some.
Even if they do find out, maybe, they test, they say, okay, they're dyslexic. Okay. Step 2 is the teachers have zero clue how to teach your kid. Nobody.
But the parent.
Remember that one mom? Yeah. What did the special ed teacher say to that one mom? You're exhausting.
You're exhausted. Yeah. And she's dyslexic and got 4 dyslexic kids and was like, you're just not doing the right thing. Like, you're not helping my kid. But so my point is, when I'm saying that, like that the next stitch, but like, so a parent, you get the kid tested, it comes back, but like, that's not the end of it. Like, that's the start of it sometimes. And that's where sometimes then you have to be like, okay, now I need to see what's happening. Now I need to see what you guys are doing. What are your credentials? Where did you get your education? Now, there are some states and there are some schools that do this correctly or I shouldn't say that they do it better than others. So like you might be sitting here listening and being like, you know, we've had a really great experience. I've been very fortunate. That's awesome, because there's some people that do have a great experience. Some people think they're having a great experience, and then you hit a ceiling and then you realize, oh fuck, I was never having a great experience. I just thought I was, because no one was complaining and everyone seemed happy. And that's where it's hard. Like, as this mom, you're exhausting, right? Because she was like, no, there's something not right. You guys are not doing it right. But this is how the district always does it, right? It's all black and white in education. And everything really should be gray, because each person is different. And again, you could have a teacher that knows what they're doing and you're very fortunate one year. The next year you could be completely screwed. So if you sit back and are like, oh, I'm good, like the school's got me, don't ever. And it's hard for people like myself that trust people. I trust people first until they show me not to. And sometimes going into these kind of worlds, education, medical, where you really need to not trust first. It's hard when you're a trusting person. So like as a parent, you just have to kind of think of all these things.
Yeah. It's, you know, everybody says education hasn't gotten better. Well, look who's running it.
Bunch of Nimrods.
Nimrods?
Nimrods.
How about fucking retards?
I was being PC.
I'm not.
I know you're not.
I don't do that.
I know you don't.
Because it's a kid in the chair. Because it's a kid in the chair.
I know. And I'm being light to it, Nimrods, but whatever. Just not good people. And we're gonna leave it there. But you guys, I mean, sopelfoundation.org. Lots of things are happening, lots of events. We have the golf event coming up in September. We also have the Stanley Cup dinner gala coming up in October. We should be getting a date on that probably soon, now that the finals have happened. And then a lot of other just resources. There's a lot of partnerships going to be coming out that are some really awesome things. So thank you for listening, and don't forget to like, rate, review, and share. And we will see you for another episode of Word Blindness Dyslexia Exposed.